Welcome to this week's episode of Inside the SPHL. This week, I got a guest for you who he's a Buffalo, New York native. He played his junior hockey with the Connecticut Junior Rangers. From there, he went on to play 4 years of Ncaa Division III hockey with the Plattsburgh Cardinals, where he played 61 games, putting up a 909 save percentage. From there, he took his talents to Finland for a short stint for 5 games, and then he made it back to North America this year and found his home in Knoxville with the Ice Bears, where through 11 games he has a 1.53 goals against average and a 946 save percentage. This past weekend, he posted his first professional shutout against the Birmingham Bulls and then did it again Friday night. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you all Jimmy Poreda. Jimmy, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me.
How's everything going? How's things going in Knoxville?
No, it's going well so far. Weather's nice. Our team's playing well, so
Yeah,
no
a little better
complaints.
than that Western New York right about now,
Yeah, definitely warmer for sure.
huh? Yeah, yeah. So let's jump right in, man. Let's talk about Western New York. Growing up in Buffalo and playing hockey. When did you get your start playing as a kid?
I started playing at like 3 or 4 years old, so I've been playing my whole life. I played youth for the Wheatfield Blades for a while, and then went to Amherst for a while, and then found my way out east for juniors. So
Yeah. When was it that you decided goaltender was the position you wanted to play? Was that something when you were real young or later on?
yeah, I've been playing goalie my whole life. I remember my dad telling me stories like when I was learning to skate, like I would just look to get out to the crease and like stand in the blue paint there. So I think something was in my blood that I must have had to get out there.
Yeah, yeah, you belonged there. I got you. Were you a
Yeah.
big Dominic Hasek fan or anything?
Yeah, I was a huge Hashik fan. Him and I actually share the same birthday too, so
Oh, nice,
that's just
nice.
another little tidbit that it was meant to be, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. You were born to be a goalie. So, you touched on playing juniors. When you played when you got into your juniors career in the USPHL, you were with the Connecticut Junior Rangers. Talk me a little bit through that experience. How was that compared to youth hockey to you?
Yeah, I so when I played for the Rangers, I had already played 2 years of juniors in New Hampshire. Then I got up to the Rangers and was there for 2 years. In Connecticut it was a real cool experience. Like I was living in a multi-million-dollar billet house.
Nice.
Like I was living in Greenwich, which is like one of the nicest neighborhoods like in the country. It was a little bit of a culture shock, to be honest. Like I was driving my Toyota Camry down the road and like I was out of place, you know. But like it was definitely a cool experience, and I still go back to Connecticut every summer and train, and so it's really become like almost like a second home for me since I spend a lot of time there. So it's been cool.
That's cool. Sounds like they take care of their players down there in Connecticut, or up there in Connecticut, I should say.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So like I said, I got got involved with like a goalie company out there, and they took me in, and I've been working with them ever since. So I spend a lot of time there now.
nice. Tell me more about this multi-million-dollar house you were living in while you were there. That
Yeah,
sounds
so
it.
it was like a $3.5 million house, and it was just me, the mom, and the kid. Um, so it was like an 8 bedroom house, and there was only like three of us in there. So
Wow. What? Did
there
you
was a
get
lot of
lost?
space. The first couple of times I had to figure out and like trace my steps to get back to my room, but
That's right, like breadcrumb trails and all that, right?
yeah, exactly. So yeah, it was
Uh,
cool.
that's cool. That's cool. You still in contact with them?
I talk to the kid every now and then. A couple times a year, I'd say we exchange a couple messages.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. And then, so after that, you went to start your college hockey career in Plattsburgh. I guess just tell me a little bit about Plattsburgh and tell me about the school and playing hockey there and
Yeah.
everything in
So
between.
yeah, Plattsburgh's got a super rich tradition in D3. When I got there, the coach Bob Emery had been there for like 30 years, so he was like a legend in the D3 hockey world. So playing for him was a great experience, and he was my coach for the first 2 years, and then Steve Moffitt, who was his longtime assistant coach and who actually played at Plattsburgh as well, he took the job my junior year. So definitely it was cool from that end. And the team, we got a lot of support from the community. We get like 1,500, 1,700 fans a game, and I'd say probably 80 to 85% of them were all people from the community. So like they really cared for us. And like if I went to the store, there was times where I'd get stopped by someone in the store saying like talking to me about the game. So it was
Okay. Well, that's
it was a
cool.
cool experience. Yeah.
You feel like a superstar walking through the grocery store and hey, I know
Yeah.
you. You're the goalie.
Yeah, exactly. That definitely happened at least once or twice. So
That's cool. It's always
yeah.
nice when you get into communities that are really hockey rich and support their teams. I mean, do they have that arena rocking at all the home games too?
Yeah, I mean the arena would fit about like 2,000, so it was full. It was pretty full, and like I said, like it was cool that like I could go out in the community and like get recognized or something. So it definitely was. It was a small town, but they really cared for us. So
When you keep doing what you're doing, people are going to start recognizing you in Knoxville. You're not going to be able to go to the grocery store there either. So
yeah, something like that.
yeah. And, so what about your life outside of the game during college? What'd you do?
I mean, I did a lot of school. I ended up graduating with 2 majors in 3 years, um, and then I went to grad school my senior year and finished that in a year. So um, I did a lot of that, and then I also got super involved with the community. We had one member of our team. His name's Matty Thompson. He's a man with Down syndrome, and him and I became best friends, and I was really his mentor for the 3 years that I was there on campus, and go over to his house and watch Bills games every Sunday, and um, so they were like my second family, and I still talk to them every Sunday before the game. So
That's
um,
awesome.
so that was cool.
That's awesome. You were nominated for an award while you were there. Is that right?
Yeah, the NCAA Hockey Humanitarian Award. I was one of I think nine people out of Division One and Division Three men's and women's that got nominated.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Did so two majors in grad school. I mean, I can barely walk and chew gum at the same time. So I mean, you got to feel what were your majors, man?
So my majors were in business administration and then business management.
Oh, I got you. I got you. So you're ready. You're ready for life outside of hockey. You can run a whole hockey team after that.
Yeah, hopefully.
So yeah, yeah. But we're not looking too far ahead. You just got started. So I'm not trying to
Yeah.
rush you out of the game.
um,
But so after that, you landed in Knoxville. Oh, did you have a lot of other options on the table at the time, or?
uh, this past summer was kind of like hit and miss. I'd get a couple contacts with some other teams in the league, and then I wouldn't hear from anybody for a while, and then I get a couple contacts, and I wouldn't hear from them. So, um, but the time that I made my decision, I actually had gotten an offer from another team, and Coach Carr here at Knoxville had told me in the past. He said, "Don't sign with anybody before talking to me first." So I I got in touch with him and was like, "Hey, like this team wants to sign me today," and he was like, "All right, we'll sign you like right now." And
Nice,
I was like,
nice.
"Can I get 5 minutes?" And so I thought about it for 5 minutes, and um, I was like, "All right, Coach Carr, here we go." So
Yeah, good deal. And in Knoxville, I mean, how are you liking just Knoxville itself, the city, and just being there? I mean,
yeah, it's super cool. I got out to one of the football games actually when University of Tennessee played against Ole Miss. It was right after our first game. Actually, we played on a Friday, and that game was on Saturday, like 7:30 p.m. It was a sold out stadium. It was super cool, but it's a cool college town, and it's a big enough city where you can find something new to do every day, but like not too big where like you get lost.
Yeah. So were you one of the people yelling at Lane Kiffin? Is that what you're saying?
I was definitely there. I didn't throw anything. I didn't throw anything on the field, but I saw some people do that for sure.
Yeah, those Tennessee fans, they hate them some Lane Kiffin, man.
Yeah,
They feel
it was
forever
intense.
wronged.
Yeah, it was intense for sure. It was
Yeah,
super cool.
yeah. Well, that's cool. That's good. You were talking earlier about the Bills, so you're a big football fan too.
Yeah, I'm a huge Bills fan,
Uh,
especially now when they're good. But my dad has had season tickets to the Bills with all of his friends for years now. So um, we're a big Bills Mafia family for sure.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Josh Allen's kind of well, and everybody else is kind of resurrecting that the glory days of the early '90s. So
Yeah,
hopefully,
yeah,
hopefully for them, it doesn't turn out 4 in a row losses in the Super Bowl. But
yeah. Hopefully not, but we just got to get there first.
yeah, that's right.
Let
That's
me
right.
see.
Just getting there. That's most of the battle, and then playing the game seems like the easy part from
Yeah,
all the interviews and everything I've heard from NFL players.
yeah, exactly.
But so let's talk about playing this year. So when you got your first start with the Ice Bears, kind of walk me through that experience. Your pregame, was it kind of surreal for you, or did you've been playing hockey long enough that it was just I'm here to do my job and business as usual.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a little bit of both. Like, obviously, I've had a goal of playing pro hockey for so long, so I kind of thought that I was going to be like super nervous, like super jittery, and but when I got out there, it just kind of like just felt right, like it was like I was calm and I was calm, cool, collected. Like I didn't feel the nerves. Like it just like I said, it just like felt right to be out there. And
That's
then
cool.
and we ended up getting a win on the first day. So got that out of the way early on. So that was cool.
Yeah, that always helps to knock that one out of the way right off the bat, and
Yeah.
then you're just like, all right. So things are
And then you
good, things are
yeah,
cool.
then you can settle in. So
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So you got any? I know goaltenders. They all got not all, but most of them. You see, got some pretty different rituals before the game. Do you got anything like that going on? That any kind of pregame rituals or
uh, I mean,
superstitions?
no, I wouldn't say I'm superstitious. No, like I have some rituals I do where I, like in terms like playing with a soccer ball or stuff like that. But um, I don't think I have anything too crazy. I've been told that I'm one of the more normal goalies that kids have met. So um,
Yeah. Well,
so
that's
I guess that's a compliment.
Yeah, I mean that's no fun for me though. I wanted to hear something crazy like I only tighten up my left skate and then 5 minutes before warm-ups is when I tie my right skate. Or something like that. Or that's what I
No,
wanted
I
to
don't have.
hear.
No, I don't have anything like that. I mean, I get dressed the same way every day, but we all do that.
Yeah,
So
that's right. That's right. So so this past weekend you had well the whole team had a really stellar weekend, but you in particular, I mean you knocked it out of the park. You got your first pro shutout, and then you followed it up 2 nights later and got another shutout. So
yeah.
what how did that feel? You already got your first win right out of the gate, and then how did it feel to get that shutout?
Uh, I mean, it felt really good. I think the best part was my family had come down for Thanksgiving, so they actually came down on Wednesday. We played Wednesday night, so the best part was that like they were there for for my first shutout, and then they were also there for the game on Friday too. So uh, now I told them now that they have to come to every game, but
That's right. That's right.
that's a long haul from Buffalo, so that's not going to happen. But
Yeah, no, just tell them to set up camp and be like, oh no, you guys can do it. You guys can do it. But so all season long I've just been talking about how defensively sound the Ice Bears are, and I
hmm
mean that's just from my perspective. I mean you're on the ice with them every day. I mean how far off am I with saying that that's probably one of the best defensive groups in the league?
yeah, I mean we do a really good job at limiting a lot of chances. I'm trying to think. Like these past two games, I think we gave up maybe one or two odd man rushes total. So I mean, like we do a really good job in the neutral zone of back checking and trying not to get caught, but that doesn't necessarily like limit our offensive ability either, you know. So it's not like we're just like just solely focused on defense. Like we're still
Oh yeah,
we
definitely can
really
score
are.
some goals.
Yeah, we're really like more focused on playing offense, but we got a lot of smart players on D, and like I said, they do a really good job of trying to keep shots to the outside, so it makes it easier for us.
Yeah, and it always helps whenever a good portion of the game is played in, the other side of the ice too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the game on Friday, like the first two periods, I think I only had like maybe 12, 15 shots against in the first two periods. Like it was, if that, like we were really controlling the game. So I didn't
Yeah,
have to do a whole lot the first two periods.
yeah. So as in, I guess for your preference as a goaltender, say on an odd man rush, would you rather have a clean view of the puck, or would you rather have a defenseman stepping in the way, at the last minute trying to block it? Do you
Yeah,
what would you rather see?
definitely would like to just have a clear view. But I mean, if they're gonna block it and they block it, then that's good. But there's times where they try to block it and end up screening or a deflection or something. So I always tell them like if you're already in the way, like then that's when you got to block it. But if it's already a clean view, then just let me see it.
Yeah, yeah. Give you a chance in a one-on-one. So
Yeah.
that's what's that feel like? I mean, whenever you're staring down a guy on a breakaway, I mean, where does your mind go in that scenario? I know it all happens so fast. You probably don't have a good answer, but where does your mind go in that scenario?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it does happen quick. But you just try to, I don't know, just try to be like for me, I just try to come out, be aggressive, and but at the same time, be patient. Like let them try to make the first move, and then just kind of go from there. But like you said, it happens so quick that like hopefully you had the time to get out and try to get some depth, so that way when they're coming in, that you don't get like caught flat-footed or anything like that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, muscle memory kicks in. That's that.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
got you. So let's talk a little bit about life outside of the game. What do you do when you're not playing hockey?
Um, Honestly, I don't do a whole lot. I'm a huge sports guy. I'm a huge sports fan. During the summer, I'm watching baseball every night, and then Sundays I'm watching football. So, um, but I like to just hang out with my family and just kind of be low key. I'm a low key guy. I'm not
Yeah, keep
not overly not overly outgoing in terms of out in the community and stuff like that. Like I'm not out in the community, but like out and about, if you know what I
yeah,
mean. So
yeah. You're not looking for trouble. That's what you're
no,
saying.
that's for sure. That's for
So,
sure.
I got you. So who's your baseball team?
I'm an Astros fan, actually.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't like the Astros
No,
anymore.
no, not anymore. For so long, I used to wear an Astros hat, and no one said a word to me. And now I wear my Astros hat, and people are like booing me or giving me a weird look or something. It's just like I didn't have anything to do with it. I'm just a fan.
Yeah, I wasn't the one stealing signs.
Yeah, it wasn't me. I didn't have a choice.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. How'd you become an Astros fan living up in Buffalo, man?
I have no idea. My dad's a Phillies fan. I just remember like from a young age, like being an Astros fan, and just ever since then, I've been so.
Yeah, I figured maybe up in Buffalo, a Blue Jays fan, right across over there. You got the Blue
Yeah,
Jays and
yeah. I
Toronto.
mean, they're our closest, and actually, um, my dad's worked for the AAA team in Buffalo pretty much his whole life. So I worked for the team as well on the grounds crew for 5 or 6 years. So when the Blue Jays came to town last year during the COVID season, I was able to work for the Blue Jays actually. So that was cool. Like I was working on their grounds crew for them. So
Nice, nice.
that
That's
was cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So you spend a lot of time with your brother, and kind of I guess explain to all of us, what's going on there if you
hmm
can.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have one brother. His name's Chris. He's 23, so 2 years younger than me. He has Down syndrome, and we've always just been inseparable. Like, we've been best friends since birth, and so I've gotten super involved with like volunteering with him and stuff like that. So like my whole life, I was like working with him with his like Challenger Baseball League, and then like when being his volunteer for Special Olympics and stuff. So I've always just, wherever he's gone, I've gone with to try my best to help him and be involved and do things together. So it's had a huge impact on my life, and I definitely wouldn't be the same person I am today or be in this situation if it weren't for him. So
That's awesome. What's his sport? You said baseball.
yeah,
What's his sport in the Special Olympics? They got baseball in the Special Olympics?
yeah, he does Special Olympic swimming. So
Okay, I got you.
so yeah, so he does that. He played unified basketball for his school. So like unified sports through the Special Olympics is like they'll have like 3 special needs kids on the court, and then like 2 like typical kids, just to kind of like help like facilitate the game and keep it moving and stuff. But they like play against other schools, and it's their way of like playing a high school sport. So
Awesome.
that was super cool to watch. And actually, when I was at Plattsburgh, I tried to get. I actually got that started at Plattsburgh, where I got in contact with the Special Olympics and started like an extramural club, basically, a unified club. And we were 1 week away from having our first like game, and then COVID hit. So all that got shut down, the school got shut down, and we know how that went.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like I said, like that's had a major impact on his life. So I was just trying to hopefully share that experience with others. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome, man. Was he there for the games over Thanksgiving too?
Yeah. So actually, our team chiropractor couldn't make it to the game on Wednesday, so he has tickets on the glass like right behind our net. So he gave them to me to give to my brother and my dad, and so they were sitting behind the net for my first shutout. So
Oh, that's awesome.
it was cool. Like after the team had come to the net to like congratulate me and stuff, I like turned around and like went to the glass and like gave him a fist pound, and he was super excited. So
Yeah, that's got to be awesome. There's got
yeah,
to be a picture out there somewhere of that.
yeah,
That's got to be a special moment, man.
it was a super cool experience.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. That's good stuff right there. Well, really, that's about it, man. I don't really got a whole lot more. I don't want to take up too much of your time. So, like I said, I really appreciate you coming on. And I mean, you're off to an awesome start this year. Whenever I was doing the intro, I was gonna say, you're leading all rookies in goaltending, but hell, man, you're leading the whole league in goaltending right now. So, I mean, you're off to a really hot start. Is your phone been ringing for any call ups that you've been like, no, let me just stay here in Knoxville?
No, not yet, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm just like I said, just kind of take it one day at a time and just try to get better every day. So we'll see
Yeah.
what happens.
Yeah, well, it's working, and unfortunately, Birmingham, and that's actually the team that I cover for Field Pass, is the Bulls, and they're going to have to face you again this week, and I doubt they're looking forward to that. So, but yeah, like I said, man, that's all I got for you, and I really appreciate you coming on, and maybe sometime later on in the future we can do this all over again.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
So yeah, best of the luck to you and the rest of the team, and hopefully you can get your family down to a few more games to cheer you on, because it looks like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not superstitious, but I mean, that's working. So
Yeah, that's definitely working.
yeah, but
Definitely.
but but all right, man. Like I said, good luck the rest of the season, and I look forward to watching you play.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. There's a great story there with Jimmy Poreda. Like I said, he's off to a hot start, and really the whole Ice Bears team's doing great right now, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. And we keep saying we'll get into that here in a little bit as we do our walk through the league. I don't have a guest this week to walk through the league, so unfortunately, you guys are going to have to listen to me talk about a bunch of stuff I have no clue about, and we'll see if we can get through it without too many uhs and ums and me screwing names and words and all that up. So we'll start out with the Vermillion County Bobcats. There's a good story coming out of there. They got their first win in franchise history over the Peoria Rivermen in dramatic fashion. They did it in a shootout, and I watched that game, and in the shootout or in overtime, I'm almost positive Joey Strata played the entire overtime period. I mean, that kid was just out there hustling, and the Bobcats had a couple of chances, but I mean, Peoria is a very solid team, and they didn't want to be that team that gave up the first win in franchise history. Nobody ever wants to be like that. And I mean, but like I've said before, it's inevitable. You're not going to lose every game. I mean, I guess it's possible, but it's just not when you got this many professionals. And like I said, and Strata went on in the shootout, and he got the game winner for him. And let's talk about the goaltending a little bit. And I'm going to screw this name up, Kaspersky. He blanked them in the shutout, and he stopped 37 of 38 shots in that game. And I've been kind of ringing the bell of the goaltending in Vermillion County all along. And I know they've had a lot of goals scored against them, and sometimes things don't look so good, but you can't always blame the goaltender. And when the team around him is playing well, there's really he showed that he's going to stand on his head for him, and he can steal a win. And in a shootout, I mean, that's hockey's unique, where you go from a team sport to a one-on-one sport there at the end, and he did his part, and he didn't let anything happen. And then after that win in Peoria or against Peoria, they went on and played Quad City, and they lost 5-1 to that. But once again, goaltending was strong. He faced 56 shots, and he stopped 51 of them. He didn't get a lot of offensive support, but dude's standing on his head. He deserves a lot of credit. He's playing on a team that's still trying to find themselves. And Nick Nieder, ever since he's taken over as the head coach, you've just seen good things change there, and things are moving in the right direction. And I look for this team to start winning more games and staying in games more. And it's gonna be an exciting season to watch them go. Now they got the monkey off their back. They got that first win, so now it's just moving forward, progress from here. But that's about all I got to say about the Bobcats for this week. We'll move on to Roanoke. They played the Fayetteville Marksmen twice and split the weekend against them. They lost Wednesday 5-2, and then they had a much better performance the next night, winning 3-2 over them. And they there's a suspension that came out of that game, and it was Brant Sherwood got suspended for 4 games for leaving the bench. And I don't know exactly what happened. The camera went away. I couldn't really tell, but Fayetteville had just scored, and Sherwood apparently left the bench and jumped Farrell. And I don't know, maybe Farrell said something to the bench and just pissed him off. I don't know. I mean, we all know hockey players, they do like to chirp each other a lot, and maybe he just crossed the line and things went there. And you can't leave the bench, though. And he got a game misconduct. I think Harrison Harper got a game misconduct. There was so many penalties handed out in that short amount of time, but Sherwood ended up suffering the most, so he's going to be out for the next four games. And that's going to be a pretty significant loss to the Rail Yard Dogs. But we'll see. Their team, that they're kind of finding their way. They're coming through. They've shown that they can compete, and it's just what am I trying to say here? They're just a new team, not new obviously to the league, but they're just kind of new, and they're meshing. And not every team's going to just jump to it like Huntsville and Quad City, where just instantly, Knoxville, they're all just playing really well right off the bat. But they're making a comeback. They're making some noise, and they're an exciting team to watch. I got to watch them whenever they played Birmingham, a couple weeks back, or I guess it was about a month ago now. And whenever Birmingham had that game handed, they were winning it. There was no reason they should have lost that game. And all of a sudden they came up and they tied the game and scored 5 goals in the third period. It was ridiculous. But so they can score goals. They're a good team, and I'm going to stop just rambling on. And I actually said that wrong. They lost that game on Friday to the Marksmen. So correction there. Sorry about that. But we'll see where things go with them moving forward. And then let's move on to Quad Cities. So they played Peoria and they played Vermillion County, and they lost to Peoria 2-0. And I don't know if maybe Peoria was just kind of still pissed off from the game against the Bobcats, and they just went out there and they did a good job. They handled business against Quad City, and Quad City is not no pushover, not any kind of pushover. But they bounced back on Friday night, and whenever they played Vermillion County, they put 5 up on them, and it was an interesting game because the game was a lot closer until the third period, whenever they just had an explosion of goals, and they scored 3 goals, and just all of a sudden it was over. It wasn't close anymore. And then they're maintaining. Quad City is maintaining pace with the Huntsville Havoc. I know early on in the season I was saying, well, I'm not a believer. I don't know. Let's see how things go. They've only played this team and this team, but they're winning games that they should be winning. They're doing a very good job. And like I said, they're maintaining pace. They're sitting 4 points back from the Huntsville Havoc right now. They got 24 points. The Havoc got 28. So they're not losing any ground on the Havoc, even though the Havoc just seem to keep on winning. So Quad Cities, they're a dangerous team, and I highly recommend that everybody goes and checks them out. Watch a game and just see how good they really are compared to what we've seen in the past. Quad City has kind of had a rough go in the past, and this year they're doing really well. So next up, let's talk about Peoria. I've kind of already talked about their couple of games. So they lost to the Vermillion County Bobcats in the shootout, and then they shut out the Storm at the Tax Slayer Center. And Hageman got both of the goals in that game that they won, and he scored both goals 45 seconds apart. I mean, and those were the only goals of that game. And Levine is just continuing to be a solid goaltender in net. He stopped 42 shots that night, and he's just solid. It's Peoria is a team that their goaltender will definitely keep them in a game. There's a lot of there's some teams in the league that have questionable goaltending spots. Peoria is not one of them. So we'll move along to Pensacola. So they played Macon at home, and then they traveled to Huntsville on Friday nights. But on Wednesday night, they scored 6 goals, beating the Mayhem 6-4, and then they lost 5-2 to Huntsville. And I just wonder, is Pensacola sick of playing teams in Alabama? It just seems like their whole schedule to start the year off has just been Birmingham and Huntsville, Birmingham and Huntsville. I mean, even the fans, you guys got to be sick and tired of seeing the same 2 teams. I mean, is it last year? This is what you guys seen last year. This is what we all seen, the same teams playing over and over again. So hopefully, for everybody's sake, Pensacola can kind of get out and play a few more teams. It was nice to see him play Macon, and Marcus Russell got a pair of goals against the Mayhem, and he's currently leading the team with 14 points. He's got 5 goals and 9 assists, and he's really a staple to that offense in Pensacola, and he's an exciting player to watch. So another one, I mean, if you get a chance to watch it, I mean, go watch Pensacola, watch Marcus Russell. It's they're a fun team to watch. And we'll move on from there to the Macon Mayhem, who have also finally got that first win of the season. So they had a rough go over the Thanksgiving holiday. They had to play 3-3. They were one of 2 teams that had to play Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night. And they started that one with the Ice Flyers, and then they got to go home for Thanksgiving, but they didn't get the day off. They had to play Evansville. They played them twice. Evansville, they shut them out the first night, And then Saturday night, they got a 3-2 win. They came from behind. Coming into the third period, they were down 2-1. And heading into the third, then Curtis Hanson tied it up. And then with it was about a minute later and only 42 seconds remaining in the game, Kyle super sealed the deal. And the Megan Mayhem showed in that game that they have heart. They're going to finish this out. I mean, they've been struggling hard, just like I was saying about Vermillion County. They've been struggling all season trying to get into that win column. And they showed they're not going to quit. They were determined to leave the weekend with a win, and they finally pulled it off. And they did it in dramatic fashion as well. I mean, coming from behind a team like that, it can be easy to get down on yourselves as players and coaches and everybody. I mean, it can be really easy to get down on yourself and just give up. And coming into the third period, losing or not losing, but trailing 2-1, it's a 1-goal lead, but still, you can feel a little down heading in, like, oh well, here comes another one. That wasn't the case with the Mayhem. The Mayhem handled business. They got that first win, and they're finally in the win column too. So it's another team. They're finding their way. Things are starting to click for them. And like when I had Brad Harrison on a few weeks ago, they're a really young team. A lot of SPHL talent that's playing there, and they're just finding their way. And I think from here forward, they're always competing. They've had a couple of games they were blown out in, but I think from here forward, we're going to see a team with a little more confidence. Getting that first win under the belt is just like I said about the Bobcats. It's going to give the team confidence. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to go out and win every game throughout the rest of the year, but I think we're going to see a different Mayhem team moving forward. So enough with the Mayhem. Let's move on to the Knoxville Ice Bears now. So we obviously had the red hot goaltender on for this episode, and they played the Bulls twice. They played Wednesday night, they played Friday night, and the Bulls in between that had to play Huntsville. So Knoxville got Thanksgiving off. They got to eat turkey, and Jimmy got to hang out with the family as they came down from Buffalo after he got a shutout and got nice and rested up, and he went out and did it again. And this is a team that they score a lot of goals. They spend a lot of time in the offensive zone, but don't mistake them for a team that can't play defense, because as you heard earlier, I mean, when they're in their defensive zone, they're making sure everything's staying to the outside, and they're just handling business. And Birmingham was one of those teams that's been struggling to just really find the back of the net, and Knoxville was going to just continue those struggles. They weren't going to let them have anything. And the Friday night game was a lot more of a defensive battle. It was a lower scoring game than Wednesday night, where they won 5-0. It was 2-0, and there's not really much more to say about that. I mean, they're playing really well, and if you want to hear more about it, my old good buddy Joel Silverberg's got a podcast all about the Knoxville Ice Bears here on Field Pass Hockey, and he can get more in depth because the man travels with the team everywhere they go, and it's a great listen. He's way better at this than I am. I'm not saying don't listen to my podcast, though. I really like you guys listening to it, and I hope I'm giving you good stuff out there. So moving on, we'll go to the Huntsville Havoc. So the week before, we talked about how they finally lost a game, and this weekend they didn't want to lose games anymore. They're back winning again. So they beat Birmingham in dominating fashion, 4-1, and then they got Pensacola Friday night, 5-2. I don't know what to say about this team that I haven't already said. I mean, this team can score. This team can find the back of the net. It doesn't even seem like it's a difficult task for them most of the time. And you can't count them out when they're down, because they'll come back. They'll score more goals. They'll beat you in overtime. It's just the things are just going really well up in Huntsville, Alabama right now. And not just can they score goals, they got solid goaltending. Max Milasek has just always been a staple to that back end. And now they got, I'm going to screw this name up, who's the other goaltender, and he's playing just as well. And so, I mean, This is a team that I thought maybe after they lost, maybe that would kind of open up a little something, and I guess, what do I want to say here? Show show the league, there is chinks in the armor here, but they are not showing any of that, and they're just keeping on rolling along, staying number one in the league right now. Like I said earlier, they got 28 points. They got a 4-point lead. I mean, early on in the season, Huntsville almost looks unstoppable unless J.M. Pietrowski scores a goal against them, which which was the only goal that beat them. But enough of that. So let's talk about Fayetteville now. We kind of touched on them a little bit earlier. I played the rail yard dogs, and they're I kind of covered the game, the series against them. I don't want to get back into that, but Fayetteville they're a fun team to watch as well. I guess, I don't know, maybe I just love hockey. I think every team's fun to watch. But Fayetteville plays a style of hockey. They're in your face. They can score goals. They got big bodies. I mean, if Harrison Harper's on the ice, you're going to mind your business as a player, because not everybody wants a piece of that, and he'll give you a piece. He'll give you the whole thing if you want it. And so I don't really know what else. I mean, Fayetteville's just kind of rolling along right now. They are, I believe, fourth in the league. Yeah, fourth in the league, and they're just rolling along, winning games silently. You don't, I guess, when you hear talk about the league, you don't hear a lot about them, and I don't know why, because they're a very solid club, but they're well. That's it. That's all I got to say about them. So if you want to watch some of that in your face hockey, definitely check out some Fayetteville marksman hockey, because they seem to always be a part of whenever you hear about scrums and stuff, and it always seems like Fayetteville's one of the teams involved. But they got the skill level too. They can score goals. They got good goaltending, and that's all there is to that. So let's move on to Evansville. We talked about their weekend series already with the Mayhem. That was all they played this weekend, but they had a good game. The first game, they shut them out. They held Mayhem to basically nothing. They didn't give them any room, and Evansville just kind of looked like the team that they've looked like all year long. They're a solid club. They're not one you're going to sleep on, and they're hungry. And then they just fell short, against Macon the next night. It just kind of like Peoria, like I said, every team is gonna win a game, and now I'm right. So I think I'm like a -4 on the podcast. Now I'm a -3 because I finally got one right. But there's just going to be an off night, and I don't know that Evansville had an off night, but I think Macon was just hungrier, and they came out in that third period, and they were determined to give Evansville the L that night. But Evansville's another team. They're doing really well. They're staying up there in the top of the standings. The top of the standings it's a very tight top, but there's definitely a clear divide between the top and the bottom right now. And I mean, we'll look at the standings here in a minute, but let me get to the last team, and that's the team that I cover, the Birmingham Bulls. Birmingham is struggling right now. They're struggling to find offense, but and it sucks whenever you sit there and see what Hayden Stewart and Austin Lotz are doing. They're stopping everything almost that comes their way, but you're not going to stop them all whenever the defense just is breaking down, or there's turnovers and this and that. And I'm not bashing the Bulls by any mean, but they need to give Lotz and Stewart a little bit of help. And that's really all there is to it. They're a good team. They can score goals. Mike Davis is one of the best goal scorers in the SPHL. Russell Jordan, great at scoring goals. Carson Rose, the rookie, he's got all the talent in the world. It's just a matter of finding something. And I thought maybe back whenever they put 8 goals up on marksman, maybe they finally found something, but they didn't. They kind of reverted back, and we're not seeing. And I'm not a big shots on goal statistic guy. I don't think that shots on goal is going to show who's winning the game, but there is a certain point when you look at the end of the first period and they're being outshot 21-7 or 21-9. They're just not getting production in the offensive zone. But overall, I feel like the Bulls are going to turn things around. They're going to get it going, and I mean you can't keep these guys out of the net. Cole Zicky's back, and over the weekend they even they brought back former captain Josh Harris for a PTO. I don't know all the details on why he came back. I don't think he's going to end up playing the rest of the season, but he played a few games last year as well. And I mean, that was exciting for the fans, but there was definitely a scary moment against Huntsville and for one of the Bulls players. And it was Marvin Powell. He took a skate to the neck. And let me pull up the statement that he had. So he took a skate to the throat, and his statement, he's okay now. So, but it was a very scary moment on the ice. I mean, for both sides, and I mean, you never want to see that. And I mean, guys are, I mean, you're flying around with knives on your feet. This thing happens in hockey, unfortunately. You never want to see it, and the sport's taking precautions to try to prevent it, but every now and then, unfortunately, this happens. So let me read what Marvin Powell's statement was after this has happened. He says, "When I say it was nothing but God, last night was probably one of the scariest moments I've had in my hockey career. My time getting stitched up, I got to actually think about what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for this wonderful life that has given me so many opportunities in this world. My family, my dogs, my amazing girlfriend, how all of them are so supportive of me, and how with a split second it could have all been taken away. How thankful I am that the skate didn't go 2 inches lower. How our team trainer, Cody Miller, was there with me every single step of the way to keep me calm and assure me that I was okay. How my team came to me with handshakes and hugs the morning after seeing the aftermath. Yes, I've got to say, this life I have, it's not that bad at all. A big thank you to the Huntsville Havoc doctors for this amazing job in a high pressure situation. Now, me and my newly swollen, very masculine Thanos jawline will take this time to heal up. Good luck, boys. Ace and I will be cheering you on from headquarters." So, you see, the reason I read that was, you see, hockey players are all tough, and they're tough as hell. They're, in my opinion, the toughest athletes out there. And we joke about them losing teeth and this and that and all these other things, but this was a moment that really put things in perspective, not just for Marvin Powell. I think a lot of people were like, holy crap, I mean, that could have went horribly wrong. I mean, 2 inches lower, and it could have been one of those things that we don't want to talk about. And so thankfully he's okay. And hopefully he heals up quick, and he can get back on the ice and do what he loves to do. And I mean, that's pretty much all I got to say on that topic. Yeah, I don't have much more to say. I mean, that was just it was a scary moment, and I tell people to go back and watch things. These suspensions. Don't go back and watch that, because it's just, well. Plus, Huntsville has some of the worst cameras in the league, so you wouldn't be able to see anything for starters. But something's wrong, and there's no reason to watch it. But so now let me move on. And let's talk about the standings. Let's get on. Let's leave the podcast on a high note. So in the standings, we got the Huntsville Havoc up. There we go, up here, and we got the Macon Mayhem down here, and about right here in the middle is where you see that clear divide between the teams. So you got on the bottom three teams, the Bulls, who are 2-9-4, Vermillion County's 1-10-1, and Macon's 1-11, and one shootout loss. So the Vermillion County and Macon both got 3 points. The Bulls got 8. And then you got the rail yard dogs, who were a part of that down there on the bottom, but they're starting to show signs of improvement, and they've been winning some games. They've broke 500. They're 4-4-1. They've got 3 shootout losses. So but points are points, and those points are going to come in really handy at the end of the year. And then right above that's Peoria, who might be shocking to a lot of people. they're usually not in the bottom of the standings, but hell, I don't expect them to stay down there. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's just, but that's where the divide is. The bottom three teams are 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 far are a little bit further away than everybody else in the league in my point of view. And so that's about it on the standings. I mean, I don't have a whole lot to talk about on that one anymore. I feel like I've just been mumbling on with a bunch of nonsense anyways. So, but this weekend we got a couple of good matchups coming up this first weekend of December. We got Macon and Birmingham, two of those teams that are struggling to get points. So we're going to see one of those teams walk out with 2 points, and that'll help bump them up in the standings. And both teams are hungry. Like I said, Macon finally got a win. Birmingham is hungry, looking for a win, and both of them are going to come out ready. And then we got Huntsville and Evansville. That should be a really good matchup on Friday night. And Peoria and Quad City, never a dull moment in those games. And then what else do we got? Huntsville's playing Vermillion County. They're traveling up to Vermillion County, and so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Vermillion County struggled to find some offense. Huntsville struggles to let not struggles. They keep all the offense out of the net, so it's going to be a difficult task for the Bobcats, but I think that's a fun one to watch. And then another one that I got marked on my calendar is the Fayetteville Marksmen and the Knoxville Ice Bears. I think those are two teams that are evenly matched. They both play really well. They got different styles of hockey, but I think that's going to be a really good game. And that's going to be what Knoxville is going to be coming off of playing the night before in Birmingham. So we'll see if some fatigue sets in. I don't know. I mean, these guys in the SPHL are used to playing back-to-backs, and like I said, a lot of them got 3-3s. Knoxville's already played a 3-3 earlier in the year, so it might be silly of me to say fatigue will kick in, but that's what we're looking at for this weekend. I mean, there's a full slate of games. Obviously, everybody in the league's playing, and thankfully, as opposed to last year where we only had a handful of teams. But that's all I got for you guys this week. I appreciate you listening, and hopefully next week I can use words better, and we'll go from there. So that's like I said, yeah, that's it. Until next time.